All right, guys, the countdown has begun for our best of 5 grand final here to determine who advances on to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship in Katowice. It's $100,000. Winner takes all. One of these players is going to be competing for it.
Yeah, it's either going to be Rogue, also known as Savage, or in game right now as Climax, versus Soulkey in a best of 5 to determine which player will be the first out of all 3 qualifiers to make it to Poland for the live event.
So without further ado, let's jump right on in to Yonsu for our first map, as we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner. He is Rogue. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, we've had a guy who we've followed quite a bit in this qualifier so far. It is Soulkey. All right, some ZVZ. First ZVZ we've seen today, actually.
Yeah, first CVZ. I don't really cast them that much anymore, but they are more common than TVT. Let's say that for now.
Yeah.
It's mostly Roach-heavy plays with a little sprinkle of Hydralisk or Infestors later on, depending on how long the game goes. But like Terran vs. Terran, like Protoss vs. Protoss, and here in Zerg vs. Zerg, there's all these little builds that interact differently against each other in the earlier stages. Some will give you benefits, some will give you weaknesses. That depends on what your opponent does, can actually give you an overall advantage or disadvantage in the game. So we'll see which builds they're going to choose. On a small player map like this, you do see spawn and pull as kind of more common. And then less common, you see the hatchery first. But hatchery first, not out of the world and still quite popular to be going for.
Yeah, quite viable. We may even see it here at some point, but for now we'll have Soulkey just taking his spawning pool, as will
It's a small two-player map. You could get surprised by somewhere, 9-10 pool, which could end up losing your hatchery and put you at a further behind position. So they just go ahead and immediately go for the spawning pool first, and then it should be hatchery straight away next. And then usually it's a pretty fast gas, but if it's not a fast gas, there could be quite a heavy mineral focus, which is a different style altogether.
Yep, as we have both of these guys now taking that expansion, all is good. So completely mirrored from this point out, aside from Rogue's first Overlord being a bit further on forwards. Why is it so much further forwards than this one? I'm not quite sure, I wasn't watching.
No idea.
Strange, but anyway. Aside from that, just a few lings here and there for both players. The 2 first lings normally used to have a little bit of a look around and normally try and get in, see exactly what the opponent's going on.
Exactly, because the queens are going to be out, because this is such a heavy spawning pool first map, the queens will be out to push the overlords away. Therefore, the first 2 Zerglings you build are going to be finding out what your opponent's doing. But it's funny, because Soulkey's already decided to go for gas, whereas Rogue here hasn't. So he could still throw down a gas. I think the latest gas is about 24 supply, which gives you an extra queen and also an extra spine crawler defensively. But by the looks of it, it could be just very heavy mineral count. And that's exactly what Soulkey will want to be looking for with these 2 lings.
And now just on their way in, we have Queen heading straight on down to that natural, maybe get a few pot shots off on these Zerglings. But aside from that, not a whole lot more. And then once those Zerglings do actually get past, well, they have, one of them will have for at least free reign to have a look around and see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it sees no gas at all. And so the first thing that you want to do is get Zergling speed and actually expand. Because as Soulkey right now, you know that you're not going to be able to really break him because he's going to have 4 queens, spine crawler, and a wharf with evolution chambers or something along those lines. And the other thing that Savage doesn't have in this game, or Rogue should I say, is the ability to be aggressive. So usually what you end up seeing Zerg players do is drone up quite happily on their 2 bases, get Zergling speed, and then very shortly take a pretty fast 3rd base, knowing that their opponent can't do anything about it.
Well, we'll see now. Rogue has apparently had such a fantastic run through this tournament so far. It'd be a shame for either of these guys to go out in the final best of 5, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
As a lot of people obviously know Soulkey, a lot of people are probably rooting for Soulkey here, but Rogue's clearly no slouch. Clearly
not. He's a great player. He's been doing like 50-50 in Pro League. One win here, 1 loss there, 1 win here, 1 loss there. But overall in practice games, because I don't know if some of people watching right now remember the days of Major on talk shows. I think it was maybe State of the Game said, you watch out for a guy called Bogus. He's number 1 on the ladder. He's going to absolutely own it all. You're laughing at me now, but you watch out. And it turned out to be innovation. And look what happened. Rogue is another player who has been, quietly predicted from major who lived with teammate Jin Air Wings, as they're called now, for a long time and knows their skills. So this is another guy that he predicted to do really well as Cure, actually.
And Classic.
Yes.
Who qualified
all
for
are doing
Cologne.
really well recently.
Yeah.
So Major's quite a predictable bonjour like that.
He's
can spot
good.
them. But Soulkey hasn't gone for a fast third, so he's not looking to capitalize on and improving his economy because his opponent can't do anything. But what he's looking for here is to go straight to layer, uncontested. No bailing nest, straight to all 4 gases. Not wasting gas on anything here, just straight towards the Spire. Whereas we have over here Rogue, who has gone for a weird play. Double evolution chamber fake into a speedling all in.
It's really strange.
It's like a super weird build here, but he's been able to identify exactly what his opponent's doing without seeing a third base down. The other reaction is just to go for his fast Spire. So what he's saying is, all right, you're going to cut corners to go for the Spire really fast. I'm just going to come and kill you. So it's actually a beautiful maneuver coming out from Rogue.
Especially if Soulkey, I mean, now Rogue sees that the third base is going down as well. Like,
Well, there's no
that's
bailing nest. There's nothing to stop this, and there's no way for him to scout it unless he gets an Overseer in.
There's just not what Soulkey wants to be doing at all. He just doesn't have a clue. He's sending links forwards. He really didn't see much behind that wall. All the Zerglings were still retained behind that. And now the Overseer, what is it going to spot? He sends in a Ling as well.
Well, he sees it now, but it's almost too late. This is a beautifully executed move here from Rogue, and I think this may just win the game.
That is a lot of Zerglings that he has here. 48 compared to 21. The Spire isn't even finished yet, so it's going to be all on some Zerglings here. 19 Banelings now morphing in.
Yeah, boy.
Uh-oh. Well, here we go. He's going to try and engage this.
It was executed perfectly up until the final decision to go for it, or the final attack, should I say.
Soulkey can't stick around those Banelings for too long. He left a few Lings there to try and soak up some of the Banelings, and he will catch a few of them. He's buying time, trying to desperately to get those Mutalisks out. But there you go. There's the breach in the wall, as now they flood on in. And
he just needs to kill off all the hatcheries and build queens back at home and spores and defend from 2 bases against the Mutalisks. Kill everything.
Kill all the things. He actually doesn't have that many Banelings left over. It's going to be up to the Zerglings entirely to do this, and he's killed off a lot of workers. Mutalisks, as you said, you know, he's just being kept back for so long. All he has to do is get anti-air and easy peasy.
He's in a lead in supply-wise, and the pressure is continuing on, but it is starting to slow down a little bit, obviously. Only 14 drones remain, and they're all in that clump.
Yeah, and you know, Rogue behind this has so many minerals left over here. Even the queens at the front that could actually hold on against these Mutalisks for a second and transfuse.
Yep.
So all this time he's buying is fantastic.
Just great strategy. Just absolutely great mind game, knowledge of the matchup, and execution. Just brilliant, brilliant, brilliant play from Rogue.
Well, that means that he is now in firm position. There you go. GG, game number 1. What a game.
A beaut. That was top draw, that one.
Beauty. An absolute beauty.
Top class play from Rogue. Really good. Really, really good start.
All right. Well, that means our Jin Air Zerg is 1 game up here in this best of 5. Going up against Soulkey, who a lot of people are wanting to win. But Rogue really doing very well. I've got to agree. That was some really nice mind games. And now map number 2 will be Polar Night.
Yeah, Polar Knights. I mean, any map can be played out in any way, in any mirror matchup. So, don't know what to expect. Love the game there from Rogue. Good start for him.
Alrighty. And now we're just getting everyone into this game. Then when we're good to go, we will be good to go. So again, guys, this is the final series of the night. It determines who advances on to the World Championship. But then this weekend, of course, on Saturday night, our time at least, we have the American qualifier, or the North American qualifier. And then on Sunday, there is the European qualifier that we shall be casting once again. Starts midday our time.
Yep. So lots of StarCraft coming up. You got the qualifiers, as you said, across the weekend. And then next week, we have the Interstream Masters Cologne. And then after that, the weekend after that, or the week after that, is the WCS Premier League. So just overall, a lot of StarCraft coming up. And if you want to actually come to the Interstream Masters Cologne tournament, you can. There's tickets available. I'm not sure of the link, and I'm not going to even try to say it. There it is. I tweeted it out as well. You can go to Twitter, just get it from there. You can get the link from there. So go ahead, have a look, check out. I think it's like €7.
Something like that.
Free drinks, free high fives and hugs. Definitely worth it if you're in Europe to come and experience it, because as you mentioned, the Industry Masters Cologne is going to be a very good tournament with some big names coming. Already qualified through qualifiers, open bracket-wise, WCS invites, worth coming.
Dude, I'm excited to see Classic and Rain play. That is going to be some cool Protoss action from two of the very best right now. So guys, let's jump into game at number 2. Let's see if Rogue can take a 2-0 lead. He spawns down to the bottom as our orange Zerg. And then up to the north, the guy who needs to equalize things up a little bit, we have Soulkey as our blue Zerg.
Who is an awesome player, but got outplayed in game number 1 from Rogue. Great, like I said, a really good start. Looking at this, though, we are going to have a 9 pull coming out from Soulkey. And then again, this map isn't that uncommon for hatchery first here, so it could work out here. Obviously, if we see a spawn and pull first from Rogue, then it's not going to be so good.
Nope, no, it is not. So there is that pool now going down here for Soulkey very quickly. And, well, you don't really get too much of an indication with this with Overlords. It doesn't get over there in time to really see what's going on. It may see the Zerglings push on out, but aside from that, by that time, Climax or Rogue has normally made his decisions as to what he wants to do.
And it's going to be a 15. Which one is he going to go for? Is it spawn and pull or hatch? It's going to be hatch. No, it's not. Spawn and pull. Great. This is a good start again here. Obviously, with the hatchery being down first, that's 300 minerals away from the spawn and pull timing.
Yep. And anything we would like to do from there on. And for now, Rogue here. Well, here comes the pressure. Here comes a few lings, 6 lings to start things off. Does he go for any more? Yes, he does. Okay, so as Rogue here, what are you looking to do, Sean, in terms of defending against
just
this?
Scouting your first Overlord is the most important part right now.
And it sees
And as soon as you see it, you're like, oh, okay, cool. And what you'll end up doing most likely, because the hatchery is going to be threatened, if he comes to the main base, great, you just mineral trick and you put your drones all in one clump in a mineral field and then wait for your Zerglings to come out. If he goes for the hatchery, you kind of wait again for your lings and maybe pull 2 drones with the lings to make sure that you win the fight. And overall, you're kind of happy with this. This is a perfect... you've got everything that your opponent has, but more.
Yeah.
So he's actually bringing 4 drones to make sure... It's actually more than just 6 lings. It's 8 lings, so 4 drones. Obviously, 2 drones against 6, 4 against 8. And just make sure you win the fight and don't lose the hatchery. That's the biggest concern. And then eventually you're going to edge out with lings anyway. So in the next few seconds, they'll send the drones back. So this is perfect.
Well, we do have now technically 14 drone Zerglings even on the field here for Soulkey, who actually just gets all of his Zerglings killed off.
Dominated.
Yeah, that was really
bad. And then if you look at the end of it, it's 14 drones to 10. So it's 1 queen and 4 drone difference between the 2 of them. And a faster hatchery on the natural. So just everything's better for Rogue. So just perfect build order advantage. Soulkey took a risk, didn't work, and he's paid for it, unfortunately. And that means that there's 4 drones more. 1 drone is 40 minerals a minute times 4.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at a good 160 minerals difference already per minute in the game. That's massive, because that can escalate, obviously.
And, you know, if Rogue from here decides, I'll make, a few more rounds of lings and pressures across, that also means that Soulkey has to add those on for the counterattack defense. So both these guys, well, I mean, Soulkey has to be very careful about how he's playing. I really think he didn't want a ZVZ in the final.
Soulkey's usually pretty good in Pro League in ZVZs, actually. I think he's won almost all of them that he's played. I'll have to double check that. But every game I've watched him play, he ends up usually winning. But unfortunately, he's just getting beat up today.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a rough time. Not looking good here for Soulkey, as Rogue is really piling on the pressure. Not with these 2 lings, of course, but mentally. As he'll have a little bit of a look around with these 2 lings. And he gets everything he needs to know. He sees speed, the time, well, he sees speeds in production at least. But he has his own speed as well.
Look at that now. It's 8 drone difference now. It's just getting worse and worse, obviously. Not good at all here. Not good at all.
Do you think Soulkey just goes for like a lot of speedlings from here and tries to do something?
You can do 2 things. A lot of speedlings on its own is bad, but he could play risky. Cut corners.
And those Zerglings didn't even see the Baneley nest at the back there. So
it's actually Like I said, the way to play this usually is to cut corners if you are Soulkey. Going for a super all-in when you're behind doesn't quite work out usually that well. So you try to cut corners. And by the looks of it, we could see Rogue be aggressive here. Roach Rowan and Bailey. She's going to go for a Roach Bailing attack together as one. And this is going to be very, very difficult to hold off against, obviously. This is a very, very strong attack. So expect a lot of overlords to come out. There's 2 straight away from Rogue. And if he hides this information away, which from what I can see with overlords is going to be hidden really, really well, this is definitely hard to hold on against. If we see Soulkey go for an attack himself, then he just dies to roaches that are defending, and then the advantage in favor of Rogue. If we see Soulkey tech up, then he dies to this attack. So either way, it's a lose-lose situation, unfortunately.
I really like how Rogue's playing this. He's like, well, I now have an opportunity here to just completely punish you for what you've done early on in this game. And he's trying to deny that one Ling so desperately to get in, and he does. And
Juki Wookie.
That last queen shot, very important.
All right, these Bailings are a little bit premature here that have been morphed and moved out. Kind of early.
They're being lined up 2 at a time, just in case they can get to that mineral line, but really...
Trying to get to the spine.
Yeah.
Well, they just didn't really do anything.
That was a bit weird.
Yeah.
But he managed to slip on through with a few links that do have speed, and he can start going to work on these drones now. Every drone he gets here is going to be a bonus, a plus.
Look at this, though. A small attack that shows, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of something. And then if we see the layer start, the mind game is 100% won.
Wait, did he cancel a spine? I think he cancelled the spine of the natural.
Because he didn't know. He's just that's just a little attack.
Oh, that's
And this is the real one coming, which has been hidden. And now all of a sudden, Soulkey's like, oh,
damn it.
And now 2 spines start. So beautiful mind games again from Rogue. He's just outclassing Soulkey so far. Game 1 and Game 2, this has been played out really, really well. And he's looking to win this. And with just spines, it's not even enough because Bailing's connect to the spines.
I'm so impressed by Rogue's ZVZ mentality and fortitude here. I mean, there's a few links in his mineral line, but at the same time, those Roaches and Banelings now moving on forwards. Those are probably the best connections that Soulkey was going to get with those Banelings, but even that is not going to help him out with those Roaches just plowing on forwards.
And Ling's just going to stream across. 3 spines, though, is quite a lot. If he runs past the spines, you can just kind of ignore them.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's going to wait for more morphs here, more Baneling morphs to get the spines.
That should be okay.
So far, decent holds so far for Soulkey. It's not going to get any easier. 22 more Lings coming out.
On the plus side, he did even up the drone count, but it's going to be really difficult to hold this in general.
Yeah, this Roach Baneling all in when you only have Zerg and Baneling is very, very hard.
Yeah, well, those two do move forward. That one Baneling got a great hit off that Spine Crawler, and they do continue. Now just to split
great
forward.
Baneling hits from Soulkey.
Another Spine will end up falling for him, though, and those Roaches, as long as the Lings are there to help out, he separates a few forwards and gets another Spine Crawler. The Baneling nest dying as well will be fantastic for him, but he knows all he has to do is kill that Spine along with this, and then it's just a 1 game. GG. Wow. He's playing this ZVZ really well.
Yep. Both games just really, really, really solid.
All right, so that means now Rogue takes 2-0 lead here in this grand final. Soulkey, he has to win 3 games to come back. We've seen him get good recoveries going before.
Well, yeah, he did basically have the best recovery ever made.
Of all time.
With a 3-0 down against Innovation and win 4-3. But this is pretty huge. This is a great start.
Well.
2-0, very easily.
Yeah, and now we have potentially 1 more game to decide it. If Rogue just 3-0 sweeps Soulkey after
the parting series.
After the parting series, after the innovation series, and you're just like, I don't care. This is what a crazy way to end everything.
Habitation Station, the next map here. This is a little bit easier to defend on. Even though it's still small, it's still a 2-player map. The ramp is kind of small here, which does make it a little bit easier to defend on. So it's a decent map overall, I think, for ZVZ. Maybe this one can last longer than 10 minutes because both of these have been pretty fast.
Yeah, they really have. And now, as said, 1 game away from Rogue advancing on. Soulkey needs to win 3 more here in this best of 5. So, Habitation Station, the map. And if there's anyone who can recover, is it Soulkey? I think it could be. But maybe not. Rogue looked really good those past 2 games.
He's playing really well.
All right, let's jump right on into game number 3 as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner. He is Rogue as our orange Zerg. And up to the top right, it's Soulkey as our blue Zerg.
So, as mentioned before, do make sure to get some tickets if you want to come to the Industry Masters Cologne. It's in the middle of Europe, so it's nice and easy to get to. Just get a plane ticket to Cologne. And there's lots of hotels here too. And it's going to be a good tournament. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday.
Maybe?
You have to double check that one because I don't know. I think
like,
it is Sunday.
It just gets to Saturday and like someone dominates the bracket so easily. It's like, right, okay.
It is 4 days, so
GG.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you live in Cologne already, there's no reason not to come. If you lived close in Germany, then there's no reason not to come. And watch the games live. This, like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of cool players here.
Yeah, it's going to be
really, really good. Player list already for Cologne is Classic and Rain,
yep.
SKT1, 4GG, Jack G and Polt, Terrence, and then the non-Koreans, QXC. Gonna be smashing some keyboards up, son. And then Hero Marine, of course, German representative. And then Mana's coming over from Poland. So good set of qualified players already. There's going to be 4 fantastic players from the WCS ranking.
Yep.
And then, of course, the open bracket.
Which is already looking pretty cool. Pretty cool, if I do say so myself. So, some very, very nice names, some very big names there. Obviously, I'm looking forward a lot to seeing Classic and Rain play. Those two during that qualifying process were crazy good. So, exciting times.
And Rogue's performance so far in the final has given him just 1 map away. He's on match point from going to Poland for the Industry Masters World Championship, which is not easy to actually qualify for at all. So this is a fantastic opportunity here for the young man. Both players, by the way, have opened up exactly the same. Spawn and Pool and Hatchery. Safe builds from both players. Obviously, Soulkey playing safe because he wants to protect from losing 0-3. And obviously, Rogue playing safe, protecting his 2-0 lead. Safe times safe is safe.
And from there
it's
on
like
out,
it's like 1 + 1 times 1 is 1. Safe times safe is also safe.
Don't do maths on it. I'm lost. I was lost already after 1 + 1. I was like, oh no.
1 times 1. 1 times 1.
Oh, okay.
1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Safe multiplied by safe is safe.
Oh, okay, sick.
Simple maths.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
You could do 1 times 2 is double safe if he'd ended up getting some good defense down. But for now, Mr. Soulkey.
He wanted to not get that Ling in, but the Ling gets in there and it gets a scout of both the gases. Nice pick up there from Rogue.
Yeah, he technically saw in there with the Overlord at the beginning, but he just wanted to know if, you know, just wasn't down still. And
both players playing gasless. And with the information being on Savage's favor again, like every start of the game, he has something in his favor.
I don't know how he manages it.
And this time, the information that his opponent is playing gasless allows him to be more greedy than his opponent. So because Soulkey doesn't know exactly what's going on and isn't 100% sure, we may see him throw down gases now, which is exactly what happens. But then Savage doesn't throw them down now. Or, okay, he does. So he didn't need to throw them down now. He could have been a little bit more greedy.
Yeah.
But still, I think there'll be safety precautions thrown out maybe from Soulkey, as he's not 100% sure what's going on. Though, having 2 queens in the middle of the map like this is an indication that this is still gasless, because you can't afford all these queens. So it seems like both the players are going to kind of know exactly where they are, actually.
And unfortunately for Soulkey, these 2 queens moving out into the middle of the map, they're really not going to find anything. I mean, there's no Overlords down there to really spot anything. So that's a little bit of sad there for Soulkey, who just ventures forth.
Yeah. So I think that both these players can piece together what they're playing against. Hence, no spine crawlers or any defensive structures.
Yep.
And they will both surely be going for speed first.
So do you think that this is going to, because this map in general is a bit more of a defensive map, do you think this gets past the mass Ling phase, or do you think that, well, Rogue could put on pressure?
It takes too long. Unless you do something like we saw Rogue, where he builds up all those Zerglings.
Yeah.
It would take too long to do, especially because they've both done the same. Whoa. So we're going to go to the mid stages. We just skip the early game. And it is 3 hatch versus 3 hatch. 1 evolution chamber and Roach Warren should be down for Savage as well very soon.
Link gets in again.
Do it.
Oh, no, okay, never mind. Another queen there to be able to deal with that. But yeah, it was gold base for Rogue compared to normal base.
20 Lings on the way for Savage.
He saw that third really quickly with his Overlord, so...
And he's going to try and punish it, but he's also not building any Bailey Nest or anything.
All right, so
if
just
he's
wings.
able to get the cancel, if he goes around the left-hand side and hugs the wall and goes all the way the long way, and then just doesn't let Soulkey see it until very late, then maybe he kills a third and finds himself 3 bases versus 2.
But Soulkey,
if he runs straight across the map, Soulkey's probably going to see it and
well,
can build units.
I mean, Soulkey made a load of lings anyway, right? So I guess maybe that he had the similar intention. He's sending those lings over to the gold base, but
Soulkey doesn't see this. And it's in the
yeah,
middle of the map. He does now.
Yeah.
But he already has lings, just not as many.
He just needs to get a few more out, maybe. He has the 2 queens there to defend at least, so maybe that'll be the difference maker. And he does try and get them in the fight, in the fray, and I think in the end it should be helpful. But no, by the looks of things, the reinforcing lings still very strong for Rogue.
Doesn't want to lose his third. Where's the roaches?
There's one. And
there's more lings coming.
Where are the more roaches? Okay, there's one more.
There's a lot more lings coming. Soulkey needs to hold on. If he holds on, then he's in good shape because he'll have +1 and roaches.
But if they get surrounded like that, then they're going to fall very, very quickly. Roaches in small numbers are not going to fare too well against these lings. He's just constantly powering on.
He should be able to hold this.
Yeah, but at the same time, well, he's just going to float on back. All right, so done and done. We have now Soulkey just powering out +1 as well as Guerrilla Constitution. This is a good start here for Soulkey.
Yeah.
Very good start.
Soulkey, is he going to build more roaches? I think he might.
It'd be nice to see.
if he's roaches part. I'm waiting for that.
+1 weapons and just go with Guerrilla Constitution or something?
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But also at the same time, Savage is expecting this.
Yes.
As you can see, he's building his own roaches. He knows that he is potentially weak against an attack right now. So he's building up to that. And he's going to get to 1-1 pretty fast. So if he gets to 1-1, there's obviously this small little opportunity, which is the advantage after defending that attack that Soulkey has, where he could do quite a bit of damage. But in the next 30 seconds or so, 60 seconds, the advantage is gone.
And the Lings will pile on forwards here, as well as a couple of transfuses there to actually try and hold this one back. But Soulkey right now, army supply, 76 to 58.
He's hitting his little window.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well with
Transfuse.
this.
Okay, good.
It was the perfect time for him to try and hit, and his roaches, technically he doesn't have the roach advantage in terms of numbers.
His window's closing, but he's getting the damage done. The Lings are offering so much here because that's wasted shots going onto the Lings and not the roaches.
Oh, he's powering through.
Only 10 seconds left till 1-1 is done, but it might be already over.
The roach numbers are now way in favor of Soulkey in this location. He might catch a few of these reinforcements, but there's really not that many left here.
Oh, it's so close from getting 1-1.
Yeah, a little bit sad there for Rogue.
Well, it's not quite over yet. He's still powering out a lot of roaches. Remember, he has defender's advantage, which means the roaches pop out sooner because they're closer.
Could set up high ground concave advantage here if Soulkey pulls on back with a few of these. He sends some Lings on to kill off some drones there, and again, he's doing really, really well with this. 78 army supply against 54.
The third hatchery of Savage is not being used. It's not being lava injected into it, which means he's low on production too.
So really, really nice isolation.
But he is closing up here. Yeah. He's closing the roaches up.
I mean, some of the separation of those roaches off there for Soulkey might not have been the wisest of ideas, but he's reinforcing once again from the right-hand side. Rogue has to pull on back.
It's 30 supply difference. It's so big.
It's too much.
And then the lava increase that Soulkey has, it should be enough to wedge him out. It's so beautiful, StarCraft, when you see the smaller things. Just, you know, we saw Savage go for that attack, Rogue go for that attack. Soulkey defense has a small window, hits the window, and the game is as good as over.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just looking for the jugular there is Soulkey. Technically, he does lose all of his roaches in a bit of a compromising spot, but he has a bit of more reinforcements once again. He has the higher drone count. He can transition on better against his opponent here, as his economy is far superior right now with the extra 10 drones available to him across those 3 bases, whilst his opponent, Rogue, isn't actually even mining from the goal for a long time.
Yeah, this is definitely a struggle. This is definitely a struggle, and I mean, Soulkey's just going to keep waypointing over. He knows his opponent is hurt. He's not mining from 3 bases, so technically it's 3 versus 2. Has a higher income if they keep hitting the lava injects at the same time. Math tells me that Soulkey should have more units.
Sean, stop doing math on air, and then we'll be fine.
3 versus 2 is more.
No.
3 is more than 2.
No. Well, there you go.
Over time, Soulkey will always have more units.
GG! Congratulations.
The sickest analysis you'll ever find.
Your maths was on point, Sean.
Thanks.
On point. All right, so one game clawed back here by Soulkey. Could have still gone Rogue's way, though. His aggression, the timing of his aggression was pretty cool, but Soulkey, just having those roaches out at the very end, helped out.
It's very close. If there was a supply block, if he didn't have the roach roaring in time, he loses the third, he loses the game. But he did have all those in time, he defends, and then actually wins the game. So a nice game there. But going over to Heavy Rain next.
All right.
Between these two players, once again, the same kind of Zerg versus early game applies. Anything is possible, from hatchery first to normal spawning pool to early spawning pool to super crazy bailing all in. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anything's possible here. And, I mean, the map doesn't really favor anything, I suppose. The only thing that I would say, if someone said, what's the difference on Heavy Rain compared to a normal map for ZVZ or Zerg versus Zerg? I'd say that Infestors are pretty good here because of all the narrow choke points. And that's the only thing that really stands out.
Yeah, that stood out even more when we had maps like Derelict Watcher in the map pool, etc. But now here, Heavy Rain for our fourth game. So is Soulkey going to tie up to a piece? I would love to see this go on to a fifth map, go right down to the wire for this spot in Katowice. But now let's jump right on in to game number 4. Or not.
This is not 2-2.
No, no. You are fooled. You are deceived. Do not believe the lies. Soulkey did not win that game. Okay, so we're going to re-host.
Still match point for Rogue. I keep saying Savage. I know him as Savage, so it's difficult. I hate when players change their names because of that reason.
Kangho, man. Kangho. Why did he change his name to that? No, the worst one's Killer to Swagger. Like, I don't think anybody can contest with that, right? That has to be the worst one.
Swagger is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah, Climax, Rogue, Savage, whatever name you know him by.
What do you think about Rain's previous ID to what his ID is now?
By Sun?
Yeah. Which is better? By Sun or Rain?
By Sun is better.
Yeah?
What do you think? You think Rain's better?
No.
Because Rain's so common.
By Sun's better.
Yeah, By Sun's better.
Climax is pretty bad too.
Climax is pretty bad. I keep seeing him like...
Well, Rogue, Savage, and then you're like, all right, my name's Climax. I bring the Climax. Like, what is it?
Nobody's going to take you seriously.
Well, they best do, because he's one map away from qualifying to the Industry Masters Katowice World Championship.
All right, so let's get into game number 4. As we have spotting up to the north position here as our orange Zerg, it is Rogue. And down to the south, we have Soulkey. If you had to pick between the 3 names, Climax, Savage, or Rogue, which would be your choice?
Savage.
Definitely, 100%. If anybody answers differently, you are wrong.
If Rogue makes it to the Industry Masters World Championship,
yes,
and he wins his first game, I already have a celebration lined up of words.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
GG's called, you're going to scream GG, and I'm going to go, Ultimate Climax!
Oh, God. That's horrendous. Please never do this. Oh, wow. Thanks, Sean. All right. Into this ZVZ. Nothing's happened so far, so balls to it. It's fine.
Yeah, man.
Oh, God.
Ultimate Climax.
Well,
just rolls off the tongue really well.
I guess. Yeah, it does. All right. It's serious mode now. It's serious mode. Soulkey, he's looking for the comeback, man.
Yeah, he is. And for the first time in this series, smartly been played by Rogue, is going to go hatch first. And I think that's good, because every game so far has gone spawning pool first. And you're not really going to see an early spawning pool from Soulkey to try to beat a hatchery first, because it failed once, and then your opponents open up spawning pool first every single game. So to go for the hatchery first here and then gas into spawning pool, which is his build, is actually beautifully thought out. He just wins the mind game early on, saying, all right, the worst you're going to do is go hatchery first. The best thing you're going to do is go for a regular spawning pool, and which is the case he wins.
Indeed he do. He goes for that spawning pool. So Soulkey from there adds on the hatchery. But this has all really been seen. I mean, Climax is going to spot... It's a Climax, goddammit. Rogue is going to spot this hat-trick. That wasn't even intentional, man. That was...
Just rolls off the tongue. Don't deny it. Enjoy it.
I'm never going to look at him the same twice, no.
Oh, that's his name.
He's going to be like, he's going to play in Pro League, and I'm going to see him, and I'm just like, no.
That's right. All right, so a gasless start coming out from Soulkey, which would indicate towards the double evolution chamber roach play, eventually coming out here. And it has not been spotted by Rogue, as he's got his first 2 links being built, which he'll need to get in there and ideally find this out. And again, there's going to be multiple different choices for him to choose from to play against this gasless style, whether it be a fast third base. I think fast third base into single evolution chamber for 1 upgrade, and then just roaches is fine. Just have the higher economy, sacrifice the upgrades, because you can't do both. But going for a risky all-in is not going to be successful, and going for a Spire play, which we saw, I think, Soulkey do in game number 1. When he played against the gasless style.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it's good, but it's also dangerous. 12 links.
Whoa.
And hidden, and hidden.
Uh-oh.
And hidden. And this is going to be without a Bailey Nest, I think. So this is going to be pure speedlings just hiding away. And then all of a sudden,
yeah. So
the ultimate climax move.
Oh, damn it. Well, it's going to be up to Soulkey here to throw down a huge wall to try and hold off against this as best he possibly can. He already has a Spine Crawler. He's already a little bit wary as to what's happening here. Zergling!
Don't see anything. No overlords to scout the drone lines. There's a Spine Crawler obviously coming in. He needs a wall. If he creates a wall, remember this is completely blind. He doesn't know if this is gasless or not. He's just said, screw it, I'm a game ahead, I'm going to go for it, because I got balls of steel.
Oh, Soulkey's being really slow about the wall. He actually sees it with the Overlord now, so he absolutely has to position this beautifully. I would say he needs another building.
Well, he does, he doesn't have the money.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so triple evolution chamber.
Oh my god, he almost missed it.
Oh god, that was so close.
But still, the evolution chamber is going to break down. Yeah. The wall will be broken.
They're going to fall. He's trying to position his queens as best he can do so he can greet this, but
they can squeeze past that.
They can. I'm not sure why. Just barely getting through there for a second, but transfuses hold on.
Oh, he missed a transfuse. Didn't have energy or something. I don't think he had energy.
This could be it. This could be the... Yeah, this could be the end.
This could be the end. The glory moment that everybody wants.
It really could be. Soulkey, he pulls all the drones.
Are you ready?
Don't do it. Don't GG Soulkey, please. Oh, no.
The ultimate climax. He's going to the Interstream Masters World Championship with 3 games to 1. Excellent play from Rogue in this finals, wins 3 games and is there. He's going, great games, and it's happy to see a great player do well.
Yes, impressive stuff by Rogue here for that. Congratulations to him for advancing on. What play, what play. Thank you, Sean.
Yep, you're welcome. Congratulations. A massive victory, stopping Soulkey, who beat Innovation, he beat Parting, but it is Rogue from Jin Air Wings, who is a fantastic team in Pro League, with so many young, talented individuals, and here is one of them right there, Rogue, who is going to make it to the Interstream Masters World Championship to fight with a lot of fantastic players for the $100,000 winner takes all. It's going to be great.
Fantastic play by him. Congratulations. As he advances on, we'll be seeing him in Poland. And that does it for this tournament. This weekend, we have NA on Saturday, as well as Europe qualifiers. Noticeably, though, none of these are region locked. So if these Koreans wanted to, they could play in both of those qualifiers as well. Maybe we'll see quite a few of them there for the next one. And yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap things up for us here.
That's right. So qualifiers coming up this weekend, and I'm excited for the Interstream Masters next weekend as well. The Cologne tournament.
Oh yes, it's going to be awesome. Make sure to get your tickets for that, guys. But for now, that does it for us. A big thank you for tuning in. Make sure to join us on Sunday for the European qualifier. But on Saturday, of course, we have the North American one as well. So don't miss out on that. See you for now.